Hello, this is Dr. Hudson, and today we will be talking with Dr. Stephen Schultheis, and he is the Assistant Vice President for Enrollment Management at Clayton State University. So good morning to you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks a lot for this opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Well, we really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. So let's start broad, and if you could give us kind of a general overview of Clayton State University.
Certainly. So Clayton State University is part of the greater system of university colleges and universities in the state of Georgia. So we're one of 28 public universities in the system. We are a four-year university with master's degree programs also. We're a mid-sized school, so we've got about 7,000 students at the university in about 49 different programs overall, spanning undergraduate and graduate. Located in Morrow, Georgia. Most people don't know where Morrow is, but we can quickly identify it as being 15 minutes from Atlanta.
Okay.
And so we are just south of the Atlanta International Airport. So students enjoy running into the city very quickly, either via public transportation or in a car with a hitch a ride. So close access overall to Atlanta.
Okay, great. So if a student decides that they want to kind of stay on campus, what types of activities or clubs or organizations are there for a student to be involved in?
Sure. So we've got an active student life, a variety of different clubs and organizations. I believe it's about 75 in total that we have, where we do have a Greek life. We also have honor societies. We've got a plethora of student clubs. It's pretty easy to set one up. And so if you have 5 students, you've got a leader, you submit a contract, you're good to get it going. Most of the clubs, I think what I'd say is a highlight that stands out, require a community service component to them. And so you'll find that there are a lot of opportunities to really engage outside of the university in the community, whether it be with child care centers, it could be with homeless shelters, it could be with just some of the community centers around. But we're constantly pushing our students out in the environment to really get them engaged in what's going on outside of the walls of the university overall.
Oh, that's great. You talked about, I think you said over 40 majors?
Yes.
Okay. What are some of those majors that you offer?
Sure. Our majors break out into 4 colleges. And so we've got the College of Business that has the typical ones of business management, accounting, supply chain management. And I'd say there, like, supply chain management is unique for us because Atlanta is such a hub for the supply chain industry overall, with the access to the international airport and the ports in Georgia as well. So that's a very popular one. Then we had a College of Information and Mathematical Sciences. Mm-hmm. So there we've got students, doing networking, programming, building robots, putting together, games, and a lot of different activities associated with math as well. Then we have the College of Health. And in that program, in that college, one of the highlights is probably our nursing program. I'm happy to say that 100% of our graduates just this past year passed the state board exam. And so we're doing a really good job in that program. But then, of course, we also have like our health sciences degree as well. So for those who want to get into healthcare, but not the clinical side.
Yes.
And the last college is the College of College of Arts and Sciences. That college is probably our largest one. And there we have psychology, history, political science, criminal justice, a variety of different degrees in there, more associated with the liberal arts fields. Each of the programs is focused on engaging the community. Also, as I mentioned, the clubs are. We have a special program called PACE, Partnering and Academics and Community Engagement. So we're constantly looking out for how can we bring the real world into the classroom. We do that through examples like the Dean Speaker Series in the College of Business. As I mentioned, we're by Atlanta, so we are right next to major corporate offices. Yeah. Home Depot, Geico's right around the corner from us. We have the international office, Delta, Coca-Cola, Chick-fil-A. And so there are a lot of opportunities to have CEOs and major directors from those organizations come in, which we take advantage of. So we really believe believe in pushing students out into the workplace through internships, but also bringing that into the classroom to make it real for them.
That's great. Okay. So there are a lot of diverse opportunities for students who attend Clayton University. How about the actual diversity on on campus as far as students? Do you have international students? What's the population like?
Sure. So our student makeup is it's a very diverse group. We've got about 60% African American, about 5% Hispanic, and I believe it's about 20% Caucasian. We definitely represent our area, but to add to that, we bring in international students from about 44 countries overall, and in fact, this year, part of our recruitment for international students is in South Korea, we're in China, we're in Mexico, we're in Jamaica. We're trying to bring in that diversity to the campus because we believe that different perspectives really add to the classroom environment. And so it really just raises the level of conversation and engagement when we can bring in different perspectives overall.
Great. So, say I've heard, all these great things about Clayton State University, and I'm really thinking about applying. What type of student are you looking for? What would make me a prime candidate for Clayton State?
Sure. So being a state university, our admissions criteria is very straightforward. And we're looking at a student coming straight out of high school. Generally, the student has to have a minimum SAT score and a minimum or ACT score to get in. And the reading, we're looking at the sub-score for that on the SAT. So the minimum sub-score is a 24 on reading, and the minimum on the math is a 22. And if a student's doing the ACT, it's a 17 overall that they need to get. We're taking that and we're using it with the GPA of how the student did in high school, and we're coming up with what we call an index. So it's a formula that we have to do that. Typically, though, if a student meets those minimum requirements and has a mid 2-point-something GPA, they typically meet that freshman index overall. I would say that the profile of our freshman class last year, the average GPA was a 3.05, and the average SAT was in the upper 900s. But it's very straightforward. We do not have an application process. While we ask about community service and what students participate in, those things are not weighted inside the actual admissions criteria. It's very straightforward based on SAT or ACT along with GPA.
All right. Do you have an ROTC program at Clayton State?
Yes, we do. And we're right now in the midst of kind of trying to grow it. So we partner with Georgia State University. And what we do at the campus is that we deliver the academic components. And then for the physical components and some of the drills that they need to complete, they go up to Georgia State then.
Okay.
So those courses students can complete while at the university.
All right. And what's the proximity of the other college?
Georgia State University is about a half hour. They're downtown Atlanta. So they're about a half hour into their campus. Students can take public transportation to get there if they don't have access to a vehicle also.
Okay, great. Now, do you offer any types of scholarship opportunities or to talk about the financial aid piece a bit?
Sure, absolutely. So we do have a presidential scholarship that we award. The deadline for application for that usually resides in February, prior to the fall that the student would be enrolling in. And for that, it's competitive. We are looking for SAT, GPA, community service engagement, and there's an interview. It's a very competitive process for that one. In addition, what I think would be unique for the state, actually, of Georgia, is that we have a number of waiver opportunities for military also. And so pardon me because I have to look down to make sure I get some of them. So,
that's fine.
For students who are where their military sponsor is they're a dependent of the military sponsor. If they were stationed within Georgia within the past 5 years or resided in Georgia in the past 5 years or even completed 1 year of high school while in Georgia, those students would have the opportunity to receive in-state tuition as well, too. So that's an advantage for people who are coming out from the state and going abroad to serve through our military. The financial aid process and otherwise, I think what I'd highlight there is that we're extremely competitive from a price perspective. And so we are actually, and if we took ourselves and compared us nationally, our tuition and fees are about 20% lower than the national four-year public school average. So students will find that we're rather affordable overall in comparison. And then, of course, students have access to all the typical financial aid options through the federal government.
Okay, great. Do you have any words of advice or final things that you would like to impart to our students?
Certainly. One, I commend you for what you're doing, right? Setting up
you.
these opportunities for students to actually interact with the universities abroad is excellent.
Thank you.
Definitely, do it. Start early. It's a process. There are thousands of universities to look at.
Yes.
It's a big group to have to filter through. While I want you to come to Clayton State, there are a lot of them out there to pick from.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important to start early to really be able to see what the school offers and to be able to envision yourself being able to fit on that campus. Is this a place that you want to spend the next 4 years to get your degree? That you're going to feel comfortable, you've got the support you need. And then once you've kind of narrowed that down to about 5 to 10 schools maybe, really get in depth even a little bit further to talk to the representatives there. Try and nail it down a little bit more than that, and then start to apply.
Yes.
And don't wait. Do it right away. Especially because at a number of universities, the early acceptance programs and applying early can gain you access to additional financial aid as well too. And I use the example of our presidential scholarships. Mm-hmm. And so by applying early, you get into that pool, and it's really important because you can access additional aid then early. But stay on top of it, get it done early, and look forward to it because it is a fun experience.
Yes, that's great advice. Now, one last question. Do you have certain deadlines for application, or are you rolling admissions?
So we're rolling admissions up until July 15th for the fall term. And each other term has a deadline as well, too. Okay. But July 15th is where we have all the applications in for the fall.
All right. Well, again, thank you very much for taking the time to do the interview for our students. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Again, I appreciate the opportunity.
All right. Well, have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Enjoy.
Thanks.